And welcome to the book with me, Susan Bell. Well, when was the last time you read a book? And which book did you read? Well, let me tell you what happened. I read a very special book titled The Lady with a Beard. A book that I invite or I enjoin each and every one of you to read. And we are going to be talking to the author of that book now. He is in the studio and you're welcome, ALOGWED'EPee.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I am fine.
Are you fine?
I'm fine, yes.
Okay. You are a retired lecturer of the University of Yaoundé 1.
Yes.
Retired, but are you tired?
No, I am not tired. I may say, if you see me, you may think I am sick.
Yes.
But I'm aging.
Yes.
Yes, I'm not sick, but I'm aging.
Okay.
And aging, you do not know when you are sick and when you are well.
Okay. First thing first, tell me, are you a traditionalist or you are someone who has fully embraced modernity?
I am a traditionalist because I lived in a traditional village. That is a village completely removed from township. And my father was chief. And I got all the intrigues of being chief, and I got all the intrigues of being a native, and at the same time getting into modernity.
Okay, since you say you are a traditionalist, is that the reason why you had to write The Lady with a Beard without any Western influence?
In fact, The Lady with the Beard has been influenced by the Western way of life.
Okay.
Yes, it is an in-depth story. And unless you have lived in the village and gone through the way things were, and you are going through what things are now, can you write and read and enjoy The Lady with a Beard?
Okay. Well, you know, I have read several books, very, very interesting books, but this one kept me spellbound. Tell me, what actually motivated you to write The Lady with a Beard?
What motivated me to write The Lady with a Beard is the gambling of the modern lady. The modern lady doesn't know where to place herself, and she blames people and systems that she has not understood. That's why I've written The Lady with a Beard.
Okay.
Yes.
So now tell me, The Lady with a Beard, what is the story all about? Just give us a brief summary of it for our viewers to actually understand what we are talking about here.
Yes, The Lady with a Beard is a book which I wrote to reflect the way we react to feminism. A mother is the mother of a girl called Ntube, and she wants to implant the native way of reasoning in Ntube. Ntube is educated. Ntube wants her own freedom. And there is the clash between mother and daughter. And that is where the gist of it. Yes, that's where the conflict is.
In those days, same as our modern days, we hold dear to our customs and tradition. But when I read this book, and in my own understanding, I have the impression that the Bakossi tradition is meant not to favor the female folk. What is your take on that?
It's not only the Bakossi tradition. Man in general has always underrated the woman. In fact, not understanding the principles of being woman.
Okay.
And the woman, in trying to fight back, especially the educated woman, is using the wrong measures to fight back. So both are wrong. And the tuber is to solve that problem.
Okay. Okay, we are going to take the first break on this program today. And of course, it is titled The Foreword.
I can't say male chauvinism is an asset for progress because it's something negative. You know, people are supposed to be judged not from their sex, but from their know-how, from the qualities they give to the society. But if we relate this question to the book, I think it doesn't match because the lady with the beard is not an aspect of male chauvinism. We have to take into cognizance the background of the setting of the story. It's in a traditional setting where there are rules and regulations. And in those rules and regulations, certain aspects or activities are reserved for men, while others are reserved for women. But the heroine in The Lady with the Beard, Emade, goes beyond the aspects reserved for women. You see, for example, she goes hunting, she goes fishing, she beats the drum better than men. She even goes as far as digging the grave. So we really cannot say it's an aspect of male chauvinism. But in general, male chauvinism is a negative aspect in a modern society. I think women have to fight for their rights. I mean, this started at the Beijing conference. Women have the right to showcase their know-how. And I think the world is advancing. This aspect of male chauvinism, it's bit by bit being eliminated from our society because even the men, most men have agreed that women should be given their place. You know, the competition should not be on sex, but it should be on know-how. You know, women are supposed to be given the same opportunity, right? They have to be treated the same as men if they are qualified. They should know that what happens to a mother is an aspect of our Bantu culture and tradition, which should not be reflected into the modern world. The girls should not take it too hard and think that a male author has destroyed a female heroine. They should simply understand the background of the setting of the story.
You're welcome back, and of course, you're watching The Book with me, Susan Bell, and my guest on today's program is ALOGWED'EPEE. We are talking about The Lady with the Beard. Very interesting book, as you must have noticed. Let me find out from you, sir. Will you agree with me that any community which perpetrates male chauvinism, the male chauvinism tendency is doing to that community so much wrong? Because even the Holy Bible tells us that the woman is endowed with enormous potential. We can see Emade. She's very, very talented in everything that she does.
Yes.
So, do you agree that a community which perpetrates male chauvinism is doing that community so much wrong?
I would say that there is something seriously wrong with the way a mother tackles problems with the men.
Mm-hmm.
There's something seriously wrong.
And what?
And if you go back to creation,
Mm-hmm.
a woman with the beard reflects creation. God created the woman out of the rib of a man.
Yes.
Therefore, a mother has the benediction of God and the benediction of man. So she can have a beard, but that beard is only the beard, the percentage of the rib, not the whole body. In other words, the beard should be controlled. It should not be a full-blown beard, but what they call a down. Traces of hair, not hair. If she has a hair or she has hair, then there is something wrong because she is taken above the limit of a woman.
What do you mean by taking above the limit of a woman? Because here we see instances, well, in the book, there are instances like, okay, a mother digging a grave to bury the elder sister. Yes. What is wrong in that?
There is something seriously wrong with that because she is usurping what a man should do. That is not creation. That is the modern woman's approach to feminism, which is, of course, wrong. The correct approach is give to the man what he needs to do and the woman what she needs to do. Because there's a percentage that each has to cover.
And where has it been written that there is a percentage for men and a percentage for women?
It has been written that it is only the rib of the man that God used in creating
a woman.
a woman.
Yes.
And that rib was not taken from the foot, no, it was not taken from the head, it was taken mid-body.
Yes.
So the woman should be within mid-body.
Does that make you a feminist?
Of course, yes. What you call feminism is fighting for the rights of the woman. It is equity. Has the woman her own rights? Yes. If she hasn't got her own rights, then too bad. Then you are wrong. A woman should be, look at how the novel starts. A mother is presented as the best cook ever.
Yes.
As the best cook. Therefore, she is a woman as God would want her to be. But because in everything there is an abuse, her nature starts abusing and she started crossing the red line. And then she wants her daughter to remain in that red line. But her daughter now is not even a child of the village. She's a child midway educated in the mission and in the village. And that daughter now gets all the weight of that to her, and she rebels.
Okay, that's interesting. We're going to continue after this break. We have this Vox Pop, which is, of course, another stop on this program. What we asked the people out there is, what special merit does a woman have for digging a grave? And this is what they had to say.
In Africa, women do not participate in the digging of a grave because, according to our tradition, it's for the men. But if a woman can be able to do it, I think, first of all, she benefits the physical exercise because it shows her strength among men. Then secondly, her closure, emotional closure. Women, most of the times, they just weep. But if a woman can, aside weeping, be able to stand up as a man and be able to participate in the digging of a grave, it shows that in the absence of a man, a woman can do it, which is a whole lot. Thirdly, it's a kind of traditional legacy because since it is an aspect that we don't often see women doing it, a woman who can do it is going to leave a legacy for her family because her family will always be used as a point of reference in a society when it comes to situations like that.
I will look at it from two perspectives. First, she may be hailed for having taken the courage to dig the grave. But looking at it from the African context, it's so pathetic. It shows instead the sad side of her digging the grave because a woman digging a grave means that there's no man in that village. So it's so sad to hear that a woman dug a grave.
It is something that is, first of all, uncommon. It is not very common to find a woman taking that action. But if you see a woman digging a grave in the midst of men, there must have been something that has caused that woman or pushed the woman to take that particular action. It could be maybe resistance from the husband's family to abide to some ideas that the woman has, and it causes her or pushes her to go to that additional step. So if we see that, we'll just call the woman a brave woman, a woman that can take action by herself. So that is what I'm called a type of woman.
You're welcome back, and of course we continue in our discussion with ALOGWED'EPEE on the book, The Lady with a Beard. So tell me now, What special merit does a woman have in digging a grave?
As stated in the book, the woman has no merit in digging the grave. But she could, if there is a problem, if there are no men around, she could, because she is part of the man. She could. If there are no men, if there are men, men have to dig the grave. That's what happens.
Okay, now I want us to start looking at the extraordinary things that the heroine Emade did in her community, and we try to state the importance. You already talked about her digging the grave, and you said no merit. There's no merit. Now, for her to beat the drum and beating it more than even a man can beat, what do you make of that?
Yes. A woman can do certain things that are artistic, that beat what the man does. There's no problem in that. But in beating the drum in such a way that she beats and then jeers at the man is a challenge which in traditional society is heavily punished. And that is why people start aiming at her. And she is such a gifted woman. And then instead of taking on her, they took on the daughter. Yes, they took on the daughter. And gradually the daughter, when she grows up, she finds that what her mother is for, she is not for. And then she rebels. And there comes another novel now coming in, which is The Lady with the Sting.
Okay. So there's a continuity.
Yes, there are 3 novels in one.
Okay. We see you at the end destroying the personality of Emade. Why did you decide to destroy her personality in the way you did?
Yeah, I remember when I went to Marwa, at the University of Marwa. One girl called me from the hall and took me out. Said, please, I'm going to tell my father to sell 2 cows and give you to change the end of that novel. Said, please, you cannot build up
A woman
this
like you
lady
did.
and then destroy her. And I told her, I am sorry, you misunderstood the book. If you want me to destroy that book, then I have to destroy the whole. And she said no. And I told you why. I told her why. I said, nobody destroyed Emade. Emade destroyed herself. Good. In other words, nobody destroys tradition.
Tradition remains.
Tradition destroys itself and brings up. And we are still evolving.
Well, we're going to take our last break on this program before we come up to conclude this program. Of course, it is titled On the Shelf. It's time for us to have Raquel Manang, certified editor.
First of all, editing is still a new profession in Cameroon. Many people don't know what editing is. And of course, they don't know the value of editing. One of the challenges that we as editors in Cameroon face is that people they are not willing to pay the amount you charge for your services. They think that it is something that they can do, or maybe they can use edit GPT, like artificial intelligence. In other words, they are not really willing to hire the services of a professional editor because they think it's going to be too expensive for them. So I think this is because they don't know what editing is and they don't know the value of editing. Let me just add this. AI is good. Edit GPT is good because it has the same features like track changes. Track changes is what we use to do electronic editing. But the problem is that AI is very limited. And editing has to be contextualized. AI cannot contextualize your work. It cannot contextualize your manuscript. AI cannot do substantive editing for you. It cannot do copy editing for you. That's where we have limitations. Okay, now back to our question. Editing in Cameroon. I think it may take some time, but I believe that our government should begin to look at the possibility of including editors in every communication team, in every enterprise, every company, and every organization in Cameroon. Why do I say so? We see lots and lots of, poorly written text, poorly written banners on the streets. Sometimes the spellings are, the spellings are crazy, and you ask yourself, where are the editors? Sometimes you look at our school textbooks and you find mistakes in our school textbooks. When we were growing up, we didn't see such. But nowadays, you see books and you see lots and lots of errors. It's because our society has not yet understood the value of good editing and the importance of having good editors in an organization. They think, okay, anybody can just do it, take it, look through, because that's how they understand editing. Whereas that is not what editing is.
You're welcome back. And of course, in a short while, we're going to be drawing the curtains on this edition of the book with me, Susan Bell. But before we go, ALOGWED'EPEE, tell me, what moral lesson can we learn from this book?
The moral lesson we can learn from this book, very, very religious, is that we should keep within the bounds of nature's rules. God created man and woman, and He gave them special duties. There is no inferiority in that. If all women became a mother, did God tell women that they should be doing this and doing that and doing that? No. God did not say that. God gave them specific duties. There are skills like drumming, that's a skill. But at certain aspects of being woman or being man, that cannot be exchanged. And any person who attacks those is really going contrary to creation. And that is what a mother did.
This book, we should, I must say, is on the book list. It's being studied by students of the lower and upper seats, students for this academic year. And so if you were to say just a word to them watching you this day, what would you say?
One thing that I've observed is that the teachers who get the book and teach it do not do any research. That is not making the book academic. There are two types of studies. If you want to read a novel for enjoyment, you read a novel for enjoyment, you enjoy the story. But to understand the depth of the story, you must do research.
Tell me, if somebody is interested in grabbing a copy of this book, how can he or she go about it?
From Edition Clear, the publishers. Okay. And I think some bookshops have got it.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me, how much does it cost?
I think it's 2,500.
Okay. Thank you very much, ALOGWED'EPEE, for coming on this set today to talk about this book. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much for watching this other edition of The Book with me, Susan Bell. I give you an appointment for next time. Bye-bye.